Hi, welcome to Driving TV, and I hope you are well. In this video, I'd like to talk to you about what if you fail your driving test. So what to do if you fail your driving test? What happens now? Obviously, if you fail your driving test, it is not something you celebrate. It is not something you feel good. You will feel sad. You will feel depressed a little bit. So hopefully, this video will give you a reminder what you should do if you fail your driving test. Let's start the lesson. So you fail your driving test. So what happens now? Are you going to feel sad? Are you going to feel depressed? Is the world is now finished? So you failed. Does that mean you failed for life? You can't go back and do the test again? So what happens now? You have to remember that you are not alone in this. You're not the only one who failed driving test. There are millions out there who fail the driving test, but then eventually they come back and they pass the driving test. And this is what's going to happen to you. Okay? So I don't want you to feel that you are alone in this. It's not like you're the only one who just failed and you're going to go in the Guinness Book of Record now that you failed your driving test. You just failed. Okay, that's fine. You just have to get up and make sure that you go back and you pass the test. So number one, you have to feel and you have to know that you are not alone in this. You are not the only one who failed the driving test. There are millions out there who fails the driving test. So that's number one. Number two, don't give up, especially if this is your second or third test. Hopefully it's not your third test, but it could slip and it could be your third test. But if it is, you're going to feel really down. You're going to feel depressed and you're going to feel that driving is not my cup of tea and I should just give up. And this is a wrong thing to think about. This is a wrong mind frame. You should never think that and you should never give up. Because it could slip, but if you give up, you're going to give up everything. All the money that you spend, all the time that you spend, everything's going to go. Okay, so you failed. Driving wasn't your cup of tea, or maybe you just slipped, silly mistakes, and you failed your driving test. But you shouldn't think of giving up, because remember, failing doesn't mean that's the full stop. You can't do any further, or you can't do another test. If fail means it's just a matter of time, because think about it, failing, what does it mean? It means that it's delayed for you to get a license. That's what it means. Failing doesn't mean there's a full stop and you can't do another test. So it could be your second or third test, but just because it is your third test, it doesn't mean you give up, and it doesn't mean that you're going to feel depressed and you're going to feel, I can't do driving. Driving is not something my cup of tea. Driving is not something I can do and I should just give up. That is the wrong thing to do. That is the wrong mind frame. You should never think that. That should never even come into your mind. This is what I say to you. You failed, okay. You just have to get up and think that, okay, I failed, I slipped up, I'm going to go back and I'm going to redo the test again. Okay, so don't give up or never give up. Number three, listen to your examiner. Make sure the feedback the examiner gives you, you listen. You really listen, because when you fail, your mind just goes blank and you don't think and you don't listen what the examiner is saying. Make sure you do really listen and go with the advice the examiner is giving you, the reasons that you failed on. Also, why you failed, the report will be sent to you by email. Make sure you go through all that and make sure you understand the reasons you failed so that you know where you went wrong and the things that you need to correct, hopefully, in the future. So make sure you listen to the examiner at the end. Don't just go blank just because you failed. You failed, that's fine. You just have to listen and know the things that you went wrong so that you could correct them in the future lessons or in the future test. Go through the report. Like I said, the report will be sent to you by email. Go through that, talk to your instructor and go through the things that you failed for, and hopefully you will understand why you failed and next time you correct them. Next is continue driving until your next test. Now when I say continue, it doesn't have to be with a driving instructor because it's going to cost money. If you can afford, it is good to have regular lessons until the test. But if you could drive with a family member or friends, doesn't have to be like hours. It could be 20 minutes to 30 minutes at a time on a regular basis until your next test. Why? Because then you stay in that mind frame. you don't forget everything. If you continue driving even a little bit, maybe 20-30 minutes, 1 hour is good, but even if it's 20-30 minutes at a time, every maybe 3 to 4 days or every week at least minimum, that will help you to stay in that mind frame so that you stay within in the driving world. You stay within the driving mind. So then after a few weeks or few months, when you go to your test again, it's not something new for you because you've been driving all that time. Okay, so if you could have lessons with the driving instructor, that's fine. But like I said, even if you have with your family member, with your friends, even 20 minutes, half an hour is good. Just go with them and just drive. They don't have to teach you anything. Just go around and just drive. That will give you the experience. That will keep you in the mind frame of driving. And next, make sure you book another test. Okay, rebook another test. Even if it's far away, book a test now and then check every day and try to get a cancellation for earlier date. Okay, so if I were you, I would go back and book another test or rebook another test. And even if it's far away, like I said, book it and then try to change it, try to get a cancellation by phoning or going online, checking, so that, because there's always cancellation. So just because you can't get a test day booked now, it doesn't mean you're just going to give up or you're not going to book. You still have to book. Just book a test, and then if it's far away, you just keep checking for a cancellation. And next, when you go to the test again, if I were you, I would have few more lessons with the driving instructor and go through the things you failed for on your last test, and also work on everything so that when you go to the test again, you want to make sure that you don't fail for anything different. So have few lessons with the driving instructor before you go to the test again. Don't just go. Many learners, what they do is that when they fail, there is no driving in between for months, and all of a sudden they book a test, they call the driving instructor and they try to go to the test without any lesson. This will be a wrong thing to do. Okay, you failed and you got a gap for 2 to 3 months. All of a sudden you want to go to the test without any lessons. That would be a wrong thing to do. Okay, especially if you don't drive with family members at all. So before you go to the test, make sure you have few lessons so that you are happy with your driving again, and then you go to the test and hopefully this time you will pass your test. And last, and like I said before, never give up. Okay, if you fail your test, like I said, especially if it's just a third test, you're going to feel depressed, you're going to feel down, you're going to feel driving is not for me. All those things are going to come in your mind. All those negative things will come to your mind, and you should get rid of them and put all the positive things in your mind and think that, okay, I failed. Okay, I'm not the only one. I failed. Okay, that's fine. I'm just going to go back to the test again and I'm going to try to pass my test again. You got knocked out. Okay, that's fine. You need to get up. That's life. Life is all about similar to driving test. You will fail on many things in life. What do? Do you just give up life? You get up, and what do? You keep trying until you get it. And thus driving is no different. It's same as what you do everything else in life. Just because you failed, it doesn't mean the world is going to finish. It doesn't mean the life is finished. It doesn't mean that you failed and that's it. You can't pass. Remember, when you pass eventually, even if it's your third attempt, on the driving license, it's not going to say that you passed third time or second time. When you pass, you're going to get the same driving license as the person who passed first time. There's no difference. Okay, so when you pass, that's a pass. Doesn't matter whether you pass first time or third time. Pass is a pass. So you failed. Okay, that's fine. I just have to accept and keep moving forward. And that's life, because that's what happens in life. Life doesn't go the way you want the life to go. You failed, okay, that's fine. You get up and you go back and you redo and you do the test again and you pass. And trust me, the day you pass, you will forget everything what happened and how many times you failed and the reasons you failed for. Everything just gonna go from your mind. All the positive things gonna come to your mind. Trust me, because I've seen it many times with my people, with my learners. Okay, just because you failed, don't feel depressed, don't feel down, because that's what's going to come to your mind. You get up and you fight back, which is keep driving if you can with family members. If not, with driving instructor, rebook another test, go back and you pass your test. When you do, trust me, you'll forget everything. All the failed you've done, you forget all of it. Okay, that's it for this video, and I hope it helps. If it does, please do let me know on the comment. And if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos, and hope to see you again on the next video. Bye for now.